You ain't calling no cops.
Studs, let go of me.
Put it down the road.
Don't!
Mr. and Mrs. North, starring Barbara Britton and Richard Denning. Listen as Pam and Jerry solve the mystery. Cry foul. Sooner or later, anybody who wants to see Greenwich Village as the village sees itself goes to Victor's. It's a place of cigarette haze, music, candlelight, and wine. A place where every man should go at least once with his best girl or favorite wife.
Would you like another brandy and coffee, darling?
Oh, no, Jerry. You've already paid the check. Let's go, huh?
Okay. It is pretty late.
And I'm dead.
But happy?
Blissful.
Besides for the lady,
You
mister?
haven't danced with me as much as...
Oh, no thanks.
Just one left, only $1.
Oh, thanks, but my wife and I were just leaving.
If I could just sell this last one, I could go home, too. Well, thanks anyway.
Hey, wait a minute, fella.
Huh?
Haven't I seen you somewhere before?
Me? Huh? Oh, I don't think so, mister.
Wait. Sure I have. You're Studs McGowan.
Yeah, I'm McGowan.
Well, I'll be Studs McGowan.
I don't think I know you, mister.
My name's North, Jerry North, and this is my wife. Pam, meet one of the greatest middleweights that ever lived, Studs McGowan.
How do you do, Mr. McGowan?
Hi.
Oh, the last time I saw you, let's see, what was it, 1938 against Ace Moran.
You saw that fight, huh?
Oh, just about every other bout you ever had in New York. Jack Nemo, Benny Tucker, Kid Tornado.
That kid, he was a good boy.
Turk Lassen, Lefty Havana.
You really saw all them fights?
Every one, from the last row of the last balcony most of the time, but I was there.
Oh, them was the good days.
Oh, what about these days?
Oh, they're okay. I do pretty good with these corsages sometimes. Ain't many remember me like you do, though, Mr.
North.
I don't remember so good myself sometimes. Look, Mr. North, would the lady let me give her the corsage?
Why, Mr. McGowan,
Would you take it, lady?
I think this is... one of the nicest things that's ever happened to me, Mr. McGowan.
Oh, that's okay, lady. Ivy!
What?
Ivy!
Well, Studs, this is a surprise.
Let me look at you, Ivy. Gee, you're really looking swell, Ivy. You look wonderful.
Thanks.
Gee, Ivy, I ain't seen you since...
Since the last time I told you to stop bothering my wife, McGowan. I know you're punchy, but I don't think you're hard of hearing. If you don't stop annoying my wife, you scrambled brain bomb, I'm gonna...
Don't, Studs. Don't. Hold on.
Kill him.
Stop it. Come on. That's better.
Hey, what is wrong? What's the trouble?
Oh, there's no trouble.
There won't be if you get this bum out of here.
Let's go, Jerry.
Come on, Studs.
Okay, Mr. North.
Everything is all right, ladies and gentlemen. Some music, please, Marty. Some music.
Well, what was all that about?
Who was that man, Studs?
Norman Desmond.
The fight promoter?
Yeah,
And the woman?
Ivy. Me and Ivy was married.
Oh,
That was a long time ago. When I was still up there. Still a champ. Ivy, she was just a kid, and after I lost the title, things got kind of tough, you know. I had to take fight where I could get 'em. Ivy, she stayed here, and Desmond, he started taking her around places, and
Mr. McGowan.
Ivy, she was all I had left. And he took her away from me. It wasn't Ivy's fault. She was just a kid then. Desmond should have left her alone. Ivy would have stuck with me if he'd have left her alone. But I'll get even with him. I told him that once. I told him I'd get even with him, and now I'm gonna.
Oh, Victor.
Yes, sir.
2 more martinis, please.
But of course, Mr. Dick.
I wish you wouldn't insist on staying here, Norman.
Why should we go? Just because that stupid pug
Well,
wanted...
you're the one who made the scene.
I made it. McGowan starts pawing you in public, and
Prying me? Oh, for heaven's sake, Norman, can't a man even take hold of my arm without...
I want McGowan to keep his hands off of you.
Why do you let him bother you so much?
Look, exactly whose side are you on, anyway?
I'm your wife now, Norman, but I don't think it's smart for you to keep riding Studs the way you do every time you see him.
Listen, all
I know Studs pretty well, Norman. When you've goaded him to the point where he says he'll kill you, you've not only asked for trouble, but you may get it.
Now, let's let Webb worry about that, huh? That's what I'm paying him for, isn't it?
Yeah, but even the best bodyguard may not be there when you need him the most.
Stop worrying. He'll be there to handle anything McGowan wants to dish out. Webb Gardner's a good man.
Yes, he is. A very good man. All right, Norman, you know what you're doing. Excuse me a minute, will you, while I put on a new face?
Yeah, sure.
Be right back.
Hello?
Webb.
Ivy.
Webb, listen. I'm calling from Victor's down in the village. Something just happened. The kind of thing we've been waiting for.
What?
Studs was in here selling those corsages of his. He and Norman argued. Studs threatened him, tried to hit him, and everybody in the place saw it.
Go on.
Webb, darling, don't you see? This is our chance. If something should happen to Norman now, tonight... Webb,
Well, I'm thinking about it, Ivy.
what's there to think about? I thought we had thought about it. Thought about it and talked about it and...
No, but don't you understand?
But what? Listen to me, Webb. This is our chance. And if you want me and Norman's money, you'd better make up your mind right now to take that chance. Are you going to put the car in the garage, Norman?
Yeah.
Or would you let me out in front? I have a splitting headache. I'd like to go straight in.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll be right in.
Ivy.
Oh, so you did show up.
Well, I said I would.
Yes, but I still wasn't sure. Well, what are you waiting for?
Ivy,
It's
don't
now or never, Webb.
Ivy, are you sure we can
Yes,
get
positive. But it's up to you. I'm not going to discuss it anymore. Good night, Webb.
Mr. Desmond?
What? Oh, Webb, it's you. Oh, you gave me quite a start. What are you doing here? Hey, wait, did Ivy call you and tell you about the run-in I had with Studs McGowan?
Yeah.
I knew it. Ivy's always worrying that something's going to happen to me. I'm sorry she butted into your night off.
Well, that's okay. I wanted to see anyhow, Mr. Desmond.
What, at 2 in the morning? It must be pretty important.
It is.
Well, come on in the house, then. Hey, wait a minute. What are you doing with that gun? What's going on?
Webb! Webb, you crazy fool!
Coffee and the Sunday papers in bed. Have you read Prince Valiant, Jerry?
Not yet. Have you seen Little Abner?
Trade you.
The deal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone's at the front door, Jerry.
Yeah.
Well, aren't you going to answer it?
Your turn, dear.
I got up and made the coffee.
And I got up and brought the papers in.
Oh, darling, be a gentleman.
Sorry, dear, but this is my day of rest, and I'm much too comfortable to be anything except comfortable.
Oh, you're horrid. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll flip you for it. Heads, you see who it is. Tails, I do.
Fair enough.
There's some change over on the dresser.
Okay, I'll get it and... Bam.
As long as you're up, darling, answer the door.
Oh, all right. Oh, where's my slippers? Here.
Your robe's on the chair, darling.
I know. Oh, boy, did I walk into that one. I ought to have my head... All right, I'm coming.
Mr. North.
Studs.
Mr. North, I gotta talk to you.
Well, come in, come in.
Who is it, Jerry?
Studs McGowan. Put on a robe and come out here, will you? Well, something's wrong, Studs.
Yeah. Look, Mr. North, sometimes I don't remember things too good. Sometimes things, they get kind of mixed up. I don't know, kind of...
Well, what is it, Studs?
Mr. North, what did I say to Mr. Desmond last night? Did I try to poke him and tell him I'd kill him?
Why?
I remember seeing him and Ivy, but did I say I'd kill him? Did I?
Why?
Well, did I?
Yes, you did.
Then what them cops said was true.
The police. Oh, Studs, has anything happened to Desmond?
Yeah. Outside his house last night. He was shot and killed.
Holy... Pam, come in. Oh, there you are. Did you hear?
Yes. How do you know about Mr. Desmond, Studs?
Well, I went out for a cup of coffee this morning, and when I got back, I saw a cop's car out in front of the rooming house, so I snuck around the back way.
Why?
I don't know. I kind of thought maybe they was there for me.
Why should you have thought that?
I don't know, Mr. North. It was just a hunch, like you get sometimes, you know. Well, I snuck in and heard those two cops talking to Mrs. Munson,
Who's Mrs. Munson?
my landlady. And that's how I found out about Mr. Desmond. The cops were saying how I'd killed him. And then I snuck out and came here. Mr. North, remember when we left Victor's?
Yes.
What time was it?
Almost 1 o'clock, exactly.
Studs, what did you do after you left us outside of Victor's?
I don't know, Mrs. North. I keep trying to remember. I think I walked straight home.
But you're not sure?
Huh?
What are you going to do, Jerry?
I'm going to call Bill Wygant.
Who's that?
A friend of ours on the police force, Studs.
Cops?
You're going to need help, Studs. All the help you can possibly get.
No. You ain't calling no cop. Put down that phone.
Studs! Studs, let
Put
go
down
of
that
me.
phone.
Studs,
Put it
listen,
down.
you... Oh!
Jerry!
I thought you was my friend.
Studs! Studs, come back here! Oh, Jerry, darling, wake up!
Oh!
And when Jerry started to telephone you, Bill, Studs grabbed him and hit him.
Yeah, and that left hook of his is just as good as I always thought it was.
And then Studs ran.
Well, I'd say that just about cinches it, wouldn't you? Yeah, I guess it does.
Jerry, no.
It's pretty open and shut, Pam. McGowan threatened Desmond.
Yes, but...
And outside Victor's, he told you that he'd get even with Desmond for taking his wife away from him.
Yes,
Now,
but...
Studs left you at 1 o'clock and can't account for his time between then and 2 a.m. when Desmond was killed.
Yes, but...
But what, Pam?
But Studs McGowan didn't murder Norman Desmond. He couldn't have. Studs is no killer, and no one can ever make me believe he is. He's sweet and gentle and kind, and... You don't believe me, do you?
Oh, darling, it isn't a question of whether or not...
Look, I've got to run along.
Oh, no, don't bother to get up. I'll let myself...
Bill Wygant, you come back here and... Oh, that man. Sometimes he can be the most bullheaded
Oh,
person
Pam, for
And so
heaven's-
can you. But I'll show you.
Hey, what are you going to do?
Put on my hat and coat.
Where are you going?
Out.
Don't you think you've had enough of that stuff, Webb?
No.
Webb, darling.
Nothing to worry about.
Well, that lieutenant asked an awful lot of questions.
And you got all the right answers and left here convinced that Studs killed Norman. Help me with my coat, will you?
Where you going?
To see Norman's lawyer. And on the way, I'll take care of that little matter you neglected last night.
You got the gun?
Mm-hmm. In my purse.
What are you going to do with it?
I think the best place for it is at the bottom of the East River.
Do you want me to get the car out of the garage for you?
No, I can do it. Now, give me a kiss.
Ivy.
Do you love me, Webb?
Didn't I prove it last night?
Oh. I won't be gone long, darling. And please, don't drink any more.
All right, honey.
Bye, darling.
Bye. Ivy! It's me, Ivy.
Studs,
Don't be afraid, Ivy.
what are you doing here?
I had to see you. I had to tell you. Ivy, I didn't do it. I didn't kill him. I wouldn't do a thing like that, Ivy, because you loved him, and I wouldn't do nothing to hurt you.
Don't touch me.
You gotta believe me, Ivy. I love you,
Let
Ivy.
me go.
I love you. I wouldn't do nothing to hurt you.
Let go of me, you... Oh, my purse. Now look what you've done.
Ivy. Why? Why, you got that gun in your purse.
Give it to me.
No.
Give me that gun.
You did it. You killed him.
Stay away from me, Studs.
You killed him.
Let me go.
And you told the police I did it.
Studs, don't let me go.
You said I did it.
Don't, Studs. Let me go, Studs.
I'll kill you.
I can't breathe. Studs, please. Let me explain. I did it for us.
Us?
Yes.
What do you mean?
I love you, Studs. I never stopped loving you.
What?
All these years, I never stopped. I should never have left you, never have married Norman. And last night when I saw you, I knew I couldn't go on without you. That I'd have to go back to you if you'd have me. And last night after Norman and I got home, I told him I wanted a divorce and why. We argued and Norman was drunk. He was horrible. He threatened me and I took his gun from the drawer and... Oh, Studs.
Don't, Ivy. Don't cry.
Oh, Studs. What are we going to do?
I don't know.
Oh, Studs. Studs, could we go away?
Go away? Where?
Well, to Mexico, perhaps. No one would know. You could go first. Then you could get in touch with me after I got Norman's money, and I could meet you, and we could get married again.
I ain't got no money, Ivy.
Oh, I'll give you some. I have some in the house. I'll get it for you. You wait right here in the garage.
Okay, Ivy.
Now, I'll be right back.
Ivy,
What?
can I kiss you?
Oh, Studs, we have to hurry if you're going...
Please, Ivy. I love you, Ivy. I'd do anything for you. Ivy, why are you trembling?
Because I'm so happy.
Come in, dearie. Come in.
Thank you, Mrs. Munson.
What you say your name is?
North, Mrs. Gerald North.
And you're a friend of Studs McGowan, huh?
Yes.
Well, sit down, dearie. Sit down. Too bad about what Studs did, ain't it? First rumor I ever had to move out 'cause he'd killed somebody. Could have been worse, though. Yesterday was rent day, so Studs wouldn't be leaving owing me anything. Now, what can I do for you, dearie?
Mrs. Munson, did you happen to hear Studs come home last night?
Well, now, as a matter of fact, I did.
Oh, good.
Like I say, yesterday was rent day, and rent days I always treat myself to a little nip of something. Gin, mostly.
Mrs. Munson...
It's got juniper berries in it, you know. Gin does. And juniper berries are good for a body.
Mrs.
Of course, you
Munson...
got to drink the gin straight. Don't get the full effect of the juniper otherwise.
Mrs. Munson, could you tell me what time Studs got home?
Why do you want to know, dearie?
Well, Norman Desmond was killed at 2 o'clock this morning. And if Studs got home before then...
Oh, I see what you mean, dearie.
Did Studs get home before 2 o'clock, Mrs. Munson?
Oh, well, now I don't know as I can say. Would the information be worth anything to you, dearie?
Yes. Here, take this.
Oh, only $10, dearie.
Mrs. Munson. Oh, here's another 10. And that's all the money I have with me. Now tell me, did Studs get home before 2?
Well, now it just so happens he did.
Oh, thank heaven.
About 1:30 it was.
Then he didn't kill Norman Desmond. He couldn't have killed him if... Mrs. Munson, you are telling me the truth, aren't you?
You got the answer you wanted, didn't you, dearie?
Well, yes, but... Oh!
You care to have a little nip with me, dearie?
No.
Going my way?
Jerry! Darling, how did you get here?
Oh, I followed you. Did you find out anything in there?
No. All I got was the answer I wanted, dearie.
It won't work, Ivy.
It will. The old fool believed every word I said. He'll go to Mexico and rot there waiting for me.
And what if he's caught?
He won't be.
Ivy...
Stop arguing me and give me some money to take out to him, Webb.
Okay, but you got... I wonder who that is.
I'll answer it.
Hello, Mrs. Desmond.
Oh, Lieutenant. Back again, huh? Well, come in.
Thank you. Mrs. Desmond, this is Mr. and Mrs. North.
How do you do?
And this is Webb Gardner. He was Mr. Desmond's bodyguard. Hello, Mr. North.
How do you do?
Mr. and Mrs. North are friends of Studs McGowan, Mrs. Desmond. And Mrs. North tells me Studs' landlady will testify that Studs was in his room at 2 o'clock this morning.
But that's impossible. He couldn't have been in his room if he killed Norman.
No, if he killed him.
McGowan's landlady is lying.
Or mistaken.
Perhaps. But since talking to you this morning, Mrs. Desmond, I've had reports that you and your husband quarreled rather often and quite bitterly at times.
Why, I don't know who could have told you that, Lieutenant. But whoever it was mistaken. Well, Norman and I quarreled, yes, but our differences never came to the shooting stage, if that's what you're thinking.
You made a telephone call from Victor's last night, Mrs. Desmond. Now, whom'd you call, and what was the call about?
What difference does it make?
Oh, it's all right, Webb. Yes, Lieutenant, I made a call. I called Mr. Gardner because I was worried about Studs threatening Norman.
Oh, you were afraid something might happen to Mr. Desmond on the way home?
Yes.
But Mr. Gardner didn't go to Victor's and accompany you and your husband home.
Well, no, he didn't, but...
Why not, Mrs. Desmond, if you called him?
I went to Victor's, but Mr. and Mrs. Desmond had left.
That's right. Well, why didn't you wait for Mr. Gardner? Because Norman wanted to leave.
Well, according to Victor, your husband and you were in the club for at least another hour after you made your phone call.
Are you calling me a liar, Lieutenant?
No, Mrs. Desmond. But I'm saying your story can stand more investigating.
Now, would you mind coming down to headquarters with me?
Well, any questions you have to ask me can be asked right here.
You're refusing to come down to headquarters?
I see no need for it.
Well, if you have nothing to hide, Mrs. Desmond, I can...
Leave me alone.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Desmond, but you'll...
alone.
What's
Studs! She didn't do nothing.
Put down that gun, McGowan.
You can have the gun. I'm giving myself up. I killed Desmond. And this is the gun I used.
Oh, Studs, no, you didn't.
I did.
But Mrs. Munson said you were home before 2.
I don't care what she said. I killed Desmond. I got the gun, ain't I? That proves it, don't it?
But if you were home...
Pam, darling, you said yourself Mrs. Munson may have been lying, didn't you?
Well, yes.
Come along, McGowan.
Okay, Lieutenant. Bye, Ivy.
Goodbye, Studs.
Don't worry about me, Ivy. This is the way I want it. I'll be okay. Just don't you worry about me, huh?
I'll try not to.
Let's go, Lieutenant.
Pam, Jerry.
Coming, Bill.
Goodbye, Mrs. Desmond. Mr. Gardner.
Goodbye. Oh, that was close.
Brother, do you have that old bum hypnotized?
How about you?
Not like that.
Oh?
Uh-uh.
Then I'd better start doing something about it.
This is as good a time as any, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ivy. Ivy, I love you so much I got it.
Oh, excuse me.
What do you want?
I forgot my purse.
Ivy!
McGowan, come back here.
You was kissing him!
Wait, look out!
Get away from McGowan!
Stop him!
I was going to the tail for you, and you was playing around with his dick. Stop it, McGowan! You lied when you said you was in love with me.
Pam's right, Bill. Don't stop him. You're getting the truth.
Yeah.
Your left, Stud. Use your left.
And you're right, too. Stop him! Get out of here! Use this!
Oh, Pam, give me that candlestick.
Your legs.
Come on, your left. How about that, Bill? Just like the old days, Jerry.
Get up. Get up, you big slob.
Stop him! Call him off!
Get up.
Stop him! I'll tell you the truth. Stop him!
Okay, Studs. All right, that's enough, Studs.
Okay.
All right, Gardner, let's have your story.
Keep your mouth shut, Webb.
Relax, Mrs. Desmond.
I killed Desmond. Ivy and I planned it after McGowan threatened him.
Yeah, you planned it to make Studs the fall guy, is that it?
Yeah.
You yellow
Be
spineless...
quiet, Mrs. Desmond.
Then Ivy kidded McGowan into thinking she killed Desmond because she wanted to get a divorce and marry him again. Ivy.
Oh, take it easy, Studs.
The poor stoop.
He may not be the brightest guy in the world, Gardner, but for my money, he still has the best left hand in the business.
Jerry. Darling, it's late. It's after midnight. And tomorrow's Monday.
Pam, what's a 6-letter word meaning culpable negligence?
Darling, please, forget that crossword puzzle tonight.
And the 4th letter is H.
Oh, give me that.
Oh, Pam, darling, you know perfectly well that my entire week is ruined unless I finish the crossword puzzle in the Sunday paper.
Oh, all right, here.
Thank you. Well, let's see. A 6-letter word meaning culpable negligence.
Jerry, the phone's ringing.
I hear it.
Well, aren't you going to answer it? Well, I'm not going to.
Let it ring. Oh, Pam.
No.
Oh, all right. Hello. Oh, hello. Yes, this is Jerry. Well, how are you? Yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time. Oh, fine. Just a moment. Pam, it's Marilyn Harris.
Tell her I'll call her in the morning, Jerry. I'm terribly busy.
Busy? Busy doing what?
I'm finishing your crossword puzzle.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.